Hello, everybody. It's 11:21. You see that house right there? This is what I'm telling you. What's getting ready to come. See where it says? It says resist. It says resist. But I mean, this is a house right off the ocean. You see, that's the ocean behind me. And this is not no little house in a bad neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not a little house in a bad neighborhood at all. But you can see the spirit. This is what the spirit is, you guys. That's wanting to rebel. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody. This is all spiritual, what's going on. And I just wanted to share this for this video here, man. I'm going to do a quick upload. But these are homes right off the ocean, man.
Head east on Ocean Avenue
and they're
towards
talking
Seaview
about
Avenue.
resist,
Then turn right onto Seaview Avenue.
Yeah, I'm talking about rebellion is what they're talking about. Now I got somebody here. I just want to make a Yui, but I don't know what these people are freaking out here.
Head southeast on Ocean Avenue towards Seaview Avenue.
People freak out real easy around here, man. But nonetheless, you guys, that's what's happening. Yeah.
In 300 feet, turn right onto Seaview Avenue.
Let's see if we get another view of it.
Take the next right
There's the
onto
house,
Seaview Avenue.
right there on the corner. Up the high window there. And, you know, it's a corner house right on the ocean. And they're saying resist. It's amazing. It's really amazing to see.
Continue for 5 miles.
That's a big house. House like that right here probably sells for several $1 million, I'm sure, right on the water, you know? Can't make this stuff up. But, you guys have heard of this thing going on, right? It's called resist. 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. I want to pull over right here real quick and see if I can't finish this video right here. I'd like to, and then just read a little Psalms for you guys right here, you guys. This is the time we're in, you guys. This is the time you want to have peace. Keep peace. Be in Christ. That's why I wanted to show you that right there, where, you know, people are, you know, this is a rebellion. I seen it. I had a dream about it. It's coming. It's not a question of if, but when. And remember, it's spiritual. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. That's why I'm saying you want to have your supplies. You want to have the things that you need. Because when this spirit kicks in, and you know, you can't just sit there and think you'll see it coming, because you won't. It's little things like that that are building up right now. It's been building up for some time. And you're going to have the police. Remember, it's spiritual. It's not actually the individuals, because these bodies, man, they're just a vessel, man. That's all they are. Our spirits dwell in them, but, you know, is it a lustful spirit, a worldly, earthy spirit? You know, what type of spirit are you? That's what I'm talking about. If you're, you know, that's why it says test all spirits. You know, if you're, you know, we got bigger things going on here. This is the time to be aware of what's going on. This is coming to an end. But let me read you guys something here. I'm in Psalms, you guys. Psalm 78. I want to read this. This is where people have literally, you know, over time, generation after generation, they've fallen away, and a long time fallen away. And God, the Creator, even when He took Israel out of captivity, they kept getting upset constantly, and He was taking care of them all the way, but yet constantly showing doubt, you know? I mean, man, I'm telling you, man, He's revealed so much stuff to me, and I never even asked. He showed it to me, and I'm like in awe with the things that I've seen. I've seen the dead animals rise up off the ground and look right at me, and only the Creator can do this. God, the Father, Abba, God, Jehovah, God. He's the only one that can do these things. Literally, right there on the road in front of me, it's like I've seen all kinds of things, you guys, all kinds. I could go on and tell you things, and it just amazes me, the things that He's revealed to me. Let me read this. And we need to be strong right now, you guys. Our eyes are open. That's your biggest thing. If you're able to see what we see, some people have different things, different callings. I was told I have different work coming ahead. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I know it's probably going to be something, because of the things He showed me. It's going to have a lot to do with our faith. As Moses and David and people that God has chosen in the past for different things, it's according to your faith, and believing, and this is the time, you guys, to be as bright as possible, like lanterns, okay? Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the word of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from our children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord, and His strength, and His wonderful works, and that He has done. For He established a testimony in Jacob, and appointed a law in Israel, which He commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep His commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. You guys remember the story of why they walked in the desert for 40 years. New children, they had more children, but they were all buried in the desert, because they were rebellion against God. Okay. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God, and refused to walk in His law, and forgat His works and His wonders that He had showed them. Marvelous things did He in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zon. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and He made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also He led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness, and gave them drink as out of the great depths. Can you imagine? That was probably some nice cool water, huh? He brought streams in and out of the rock, and caused waters to run down like rivers. And they sinned yet more against Him. That's verse 17. And they sinned yet more against Him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness. And they tempted God in their heart by asking meat for their lust. Yeah, they spoke against God. They said, "Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, He smote the rock, and the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can He give bread also? Can He provide flesh for His people?" Therefore the Lord heard this, and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel, because they believed not in God, and trusted not in his salvation. Though he had commanded the clouds from above, and opened the doors of heaven, and had rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them the corn of heaven, man did eat angels' food. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in a south wind. He rained flesh upon them as dust, as feathered fowls, like as the sand of sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their inhabitants. So they did eat and were filled, for he gave them their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust. But while their meat was yet in their mouths, the wrath of God came upon them, and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this they sinned still, and believed not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. When he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned and inquired early after God. And they remembered that God was their rock, and the high God, their Redeemer. Nevertheless, they did flatter him with their mouth. They lied unto him with their tongues. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. But he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquities and destroyed them not. Yea, many a times turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. For he remembered that they were but flesh, and wood, and a wind that passeth away and cometh not again. How often did they provoke him with the wilderness, and grieve him in the desert? Yea, they turned back and tempted God, and limited the Holy One of Israel. They remembered not his hand, nor the day when he delivered them from the enemy, and how he had wrought his signs in Egypt, and his wonders in the field of Zon, and had turned their rivers into blood, and their floods that they could not drink. He sent divers sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them. He gave also their increase into the caterpillar, and their labor into the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger. He spread not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence, and smote all the firstborn of Egypt, the chief of their strength, and their tabernacles of Ham, but made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them into the wilderness like a flock. And he led them on safely, so that they feared not, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. And he brought them to the borders of his sanctuary, even to this mountain, which his right hand purchased. We have an awesome God here, you guys. In these times that we're in right now, this is the time to put all your faith and trust in the Lord, and know everything in here is true, okay? Everything is true. This is the time that you guys, we need to be at peace and trust and have faith in him, okay? It's going to get ugly, but know this. He's opened our eyes not to fear, but to believe, okay? We see what so many don't see. That's where we're supposed to be getting things ready, preparing our faith, knowing. I mean, we should be sure of ourselves and everything that we're doing because of him and his glory and what he's done, what he's revealed to us, what's coming. We know what's coming because of his word. Okay? He cast out the heathen also before them, and divided them in inheritance by line, and made their tribes of Israel to dwell in their tents. Yet they tempted and provoked the Most High God, and kept not his testimonies, but turned back and dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow, for they provoked him to anger with their high places, and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. When God heard this, he was wroth, and greatly abhorred Israel, so that he forsake the tabernacle of Shiloh, and the tent which he placed among men, and delivered his strength into captivity, and his glory into the enemy's hand. He gave his people over unto the sword, and was wroth with his inheritance. The fire consumed their young men, and their maidens were not given to marriage. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows made no lamentation. Then the Lord awakened as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man he shouteth by reason of wine. And he smote his enemies in the hinder parts. He put them to a perpetual reproach. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph, and chosen not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion which he loved. And he built his sanctuary high palaces, like the earth which he has established forever. He chose David also his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds. From following the ewes, great with young, he brought him to feed Jacob his people, and Israel his inheritance. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart, and guided them by the skillfulness of his hand. King David, you guys. Yeah, David wrote a lot of these psalms here, you guys. It's very nice. Very pleasing, even, to hear, you know. All right, you guys. I just wanted to share a little bit with you. It's 17 minutes. A little after 17 minutes. Wanted you guys to see that. Resist. Don't resist. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord, okay? God bless you guys. Love each and every one of you in the name of our Lord, Jesus Christ.